On.
Hello, and it is a great day. This is Joy in Our Town. I am your host today, Sean Teal, and we have a wonderful topic that we want to share with you today. We want to talk about single parenting, and we want to share with you some keys that are going to help you become a successful single parent. And if you know a single parent, you want to make sure that this information gets to them. We have with us today counselor and writer, Miss Tabi Upton, and she is going to share with us some of the things that she's been learning about single parenting and how those things can be a benefit to us in our city and in our community. Welcome to Joy in Our Town.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad that you're here with us again.
Thank you.
Share with us how you got involved with the single parenting aspect of life.
Okay, well, the bottom line is that I have a lot of friends who are single parents.
Wow.
And I think that that is obviously because in our culture today, there's a lot of divorce. Half of our marriages end in divorce. And then there are a lot of people who are just not marrying until later in life, or perhaps not marrying at all, but have had children along the way.
Right.
And I think this is something that a lot of people don't realize, is that most children born out of marriage are born to adult women.
Most children who are born out of wedlock are born to adult women. Now, you know, usually we think they're teenage girls.
We think about teenage girls. So there's a huge gap of help and service and attention for adults who are single parents. So that's how I became passionate about it, just listening to the struggles of people around me.
Right. Now, when you hear some of those stories and some of those struggles, what is kind of the theme that you're hearing kind of woven through them?
Well, fatigue is one, and not just physical fatigue, although that's part of it, but the emotional fatigue of parenting by yourself, feeling the need to be supported, feeling the need to be loved, to be cared for, to rest and let someone else take over. Feeling pressured and focused. A lot of great mothers who are single are very focused on trying to be a great mother to that child because they know it's just them, and they want to do a good job at it. And I heard one woman put it this way too. She said, "I just really need a covering." She longed for couples to kind of take her under their wing and nurture her and cover her and her son, her young son.
Do you see, though, is there particularly in females?
Yes.
And let's kind of keep it broad because
there are males.
All single parents are not female. But for those females, do you see, even for the males, is there a yearning for matrimony, or that's not even kind of in the equation? Even what you described as a covering, that didn't sound like a yearning for matrimony. That just seemed like wanted some support, maybe some support that doesn't come in that frame, but still needs some support. Is that kind of the trend, or what is that?
I think that this person also wanted to get married, but in her mind, it would have been faster and simpler. You know, maybe next month I can have a family take me in. It may take me a year, 2, 3, I don't know how long to find a mate. You know, so I think she would have loved a mate, but that wasn't happening. And particularly in certain subcultures, such as ours, African American culture, 60 to 70% of African American women are single. So that's just a whole nother issue of the difficulty of getting married.
60 to 70% of African American females are single.
Yes.
That's right.
Look it up.
Really?
It's a silent epidemic, and that needs to be addressed. So that's my other plug.
I heard that. I got that. Amen.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. There was a pastor.
Right.
And, that's very important
I'm
to think about.
And as I'm thinking about that, that's probably, I can see that demographic. I can see that. But are you also having to counsel through anxiety, the anxiety of not being married, the anxiety of being single?
For people who are single without children, that becomes the biggest point of am I going to get married? Am I going to have a child in marriage? I would love to, and the frustration of not feeling like they're moving ahead on that. I think once a person becomes a parent in their adulthood, and I can't speak for every person, then a lot of their energy is going to be towards parenting, and they still may want to get married, but they have this child right here, so they may have a split focus. You know,
so
they're parenting and hopefully, maybe waiting.
But the priority we would hope is going to be the focus on the children, the parenting of the children,
Yes.
and the other relationship that is potential has to fit into
that
the parenting.
picture.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
But you do recommend that single parents do stay focused on the parenting.
Wow. Do I
I'm
recommend?
asking. That's a question. I'm sorry.
Wow. I don't. I think each person has to ask God what, because if they felt led to be married and that would make them a better parent and that would be a different, a more supportive household for their child, that is helping the child. So I think each person has to find what they feel God is leading them to.
But is there a balance in that pursuit?
It should be balanced.
Right.
Yeah, I think the child is here. So you
Right.
have to get up every morning with that child, make sure they have clothes, food, off to school. That's going to be happening.
Right.
Like you said, in a healthy home, that's going to be happening, but it also may be happening that woman or that man is open to
Right.
to
So
marriage.
here I have a single man who has a son, perhaps in the home with him, that he's raising by himself. He may have some anxiety about matrimony. He wants to be married. But in that process of even pursuing something romantic with anyone, isn't that child kind of have to stay in some level of focus, because whoever you're bringing into your life, whoever you're bringing into your home,
Yes.
has to also
Yes.
interact with your child.
Yes.
So that child has to be.
In focus, for sure. I
Right.
think most parents would do that. Yes. Yes. That's
But there
kind of
are
a
some.
given.
There are some who I have seen anecdotally who
Okay.
will pursue matrimony or pursue romance to the
Expense
detriment
of the
or the
child.
expense of the child.
So here's where I would say
All right,
the
talk
church
to us
should
about
come
that.
in.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, because that's my passion, is that I
Right.
think every church should have a single parent ministry.
Right.
Because there are so many single parents out there, and they do need not just practical help with whatever that may look like, an oil change, daycare, a Bible study, help with whatever, pickups, drop-offs, mentoring. Those are huge needs for a lot of single parents, but there's also emotional needs. Like this
Right.
one lady was conveying, I need to feel connected and protected. She was not feeling that, and so that would make her vulnerable. I'm just saying hypothetically,
Right.
could make her vulnerable to maybe getting off balance and trying to find that in a relationship.
Right.
If the church steps in
Right.
and starts to meet needs holistically for people who are, think of it, I was talking earlier about when I had foot surgery, you're on one foot, you're off balance, you need a crutch, you need an arm, you need help, you need something to fill in the absence of that loss. They do too. So, the biblical mandate in the biblical times and in the New Testament was for, the church is responsible to take care of widows and orphans. Well, these would be our modern days. One divorced mother told me as I was preparing for this, we are the modern day widows. These children they still have parents, but they may be considered orphans on some level.
Wow.
So as a church, we can fill that in rather
Right.
than critiquing what people are doing. If we could say, wow, they're doing something that shows they have a need. How can we meet that need for them?
So you do believe that single parenting ministries in the life of a local church can bring a perspective and a balance so that
Yes.
the needs, the real needs. These
Real
are real
needs.
needs. Real
Yes.
needs to be connected to people, real needs of romance, real needs to just, when my wife was, she wasn't single parenting, but she was at home, and I was off, out of the house every day.
Semi-single
Right,
parenting. Yeah.
she was in the house and I was gone.
Yes.
I was gone during the day. She was in the house with the kids. And there were some days where she just told me she just wanted grown-up conversation.
Yes.
She just wanted to talk to somebody grown.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
I've heard
so
that.
those kind of real needs, you believe a
Yes.
single ministry can come in and help do that. Now let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because in balance, we're talking about balance. So a single ministry in a church can help bring the balance,
Yes.
single parenting and the issues that come with that. Also,